Is Wales prepared for a no-deal Brexit?
We have been in the no-deal preparations that have been taking place and continue to take place. We've been involving the devolved administrations, including obviously the government in Wales and the Assembly, but the government in Wales. Representatives have been able to sit around the table with UK ministers and others in terms of their preparations.
The preparations that are necessary have all been made. Well,
I'm confident from everything that we've seen in relation to the Welsh Government, but I would be, if the intent of the question is that you are aware of areas where you're concerned about that, then obviously we would wish to hear those.
Well, one of the concerns raised is amongst the lamb farmers who are heavily dependent on exports to the EU, especially France. Are you confident that if we left with no deal, they would not suffer financially? And if they did, would special support be put in place for them?
One of the aspects that we have been considering as a government is looking at those areas which could be particularly affected in a no-deal situation, and the extent to which it would be appropriate for government to act in those circumstances. That is a debate that continues.
Would you agree that, as we members of Parliament, none of us are actually going to get exactly what we want in terms of Brexit? Is that a fair suggestion?
I think that is a fair comment, and
I happen to agree with you. That being the case, if you don't get what you want, which is the withdrawal agreement passed, which I personally, as a loyal backbencher, have always supported, but if we are unsuccessful in persuading our colleagues to support this, would your preference be for a no-deal Brexit or to remain in the European Union?
My view is we should leave the European Union, because that's what the British people...
what we want. So we may have to choose between things we don't want, and the choice may be...
And I think that we should leave the European Union, and my job is to try to make sure we leave the European Union with as much as we want as possible.
As we've just agreed, we're not necessarily going to get what we want. You and I would both like the withdrawal agreement to pass, but if we don't get that, would you be happy to support a no-deal Brexit?
As I've just said, I believe that the important thing for us is to deliver on the result of the referendum, and that means leaving the European Union. But I hope that we can both...
Because I think this is important, because I detect a change in government policy here. Can I conclude from what you're saying to me that you would not support a no-deal Brexit?
No.
Under any circumstances?
The position of the government is that the best option for the United Kingdom is to leave with a deal. That is what I believe, that's what I'm working for, that's what the government has been working for. I believe that we should leave the European Union. I believe it's important to deliver on the result of the referendum. I believe we're also in a set of circumstances where Parliament has made clear that in the circumstances where it looks as if no deal was happening, Parliament would act again to try and ensure that there wasn't a no deal situation. So I would have hoped that we could all just agree that we recognise, as you do, that the withdrawal agreement doesn't give everybody what they want, but that actually leaving with it is the best option for the UK.
Been undermined by members of your own cabinet who have suggested semi-publicly that we couldn't leave without a deal.
Parliament has said that they don't want us to leave without a deal. I mean, that is the reality.
Members of your cabinet, do you think they've undermined you?
I think what is important is that we work to deliver government policy, which is that we leave, that the preference is to leave with a deal, and we work to leave with a deal.
It was government policy to leave by the 31st of March. The failure to leave... 29, sorry. The failure to leave by that date is a failure, isn't it? It is a failure.
I wanted to leave on the 29th of March. I voted to leave on the 29th of March. Others voted to leave on the 29th of March. Sadly, not sufficient numbers in-house voted to leave on the 29th of March.
It is a failure. It is a failure.
Well, people wanted us to leave on the 29th of March, and we wanted to leave. We weren't able to achieve that.
We have failed.
We weren't able to achieve that. What we must not fail in is leaving the European Union. We must ensure that we deliver on leaving the European Union. but as we've said and as you've indicated, you agree with, that it's better to do that with a deal.